Oi boys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we'll be reviewing / recapping the events that just passed. State of Origin Game 1, Queensland walk away with the W, 18 points to 14. And let me start off by saying, you bloody beauty. Not many people gave this young Queensland team a chance, but if there's any coach that you'd want at the helm of such an inexperienced young team, it'd be Wayne Bennett. So in the lead up to the first try and to start the game, it was a bloody shit show, to be honest. I think I counted about 7 errors made, a combined 7 errors, and a fair few restarts and penalties. That was all in the span of like 15 minutes. And for the most part, it was New South Wales inviting Queensland in, but they were unable to put together anything in attack inside the 20. You know, as you'd expect, the inexperience, new combinations and everything like that, they were just unable to score points. They did come close on a couple of occasions, but in the 15th minute, the Blues inside Queensland's 20, Damien Cook puts in a grubber kick, and he got a little lucky there. It comes off a Maroons player, Damien Cook regathers it, and he ends up scoring the first try of the game. So not long after, with all momentum pretty much off the Blues, they do find themselves back inside Queensland's 20, and Josh Adokar ends up scoring around the 20th minute mark. They pretty much stretched the left edge of the Queenslanders, and on a couple of occasions, AJ Brimson's defensive decision-making and positioning got them into trouble when New South Wales were in that red zone. Oh, I forgot to mention, not long before that try was scored, Boyd Cordner, he ends up copping another head knock, and I'm not sure how many he's copped this year, but it's not good, man. That takes years off your career, or it could take years off your career. I mean, for his own health, I don't think he should be playing for the rest of the series, and he should be resting up. But what's crazy is he actually came back onto the field. Some people are just made different, man. So anyway, Boyd Cordner leaves the field for an HIA. Cameron Murray comes in. They score that try, and not long after Adokar's try, Cameron Murray gets injured, is forced from the field. Crichton comes in, and not much after that. The Blues head into the halftime break, leading 10 points to 0. You know, everyone expected the Blues to be up by halftime, and the deficit wasn't I guess it wasn't as bad as what everyone was expecting. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. Not everyone had Queensland getting thumped, but yeah, the deficit wasn't crazy. It was definitely doable, and judging by their little glimpses of attack in the first half, you could definitely see, or should I say feel, a potential comeback from the Queenslanders. Alright, so in the second half, the Blues pretty much start the second how they started the match. Nathan Cleary at the end of a set ends up dropping the ball cold, and around the 49th or 50th minute, mate, Branko Lee's replacement, Kurt Capewell, man, put some respect on his name. He had one hell of a game. He beats Gutho one-on-one, clean too. I had question marks on Gutho whether he'd do well or not. I thought he was a safe player to chuck in the centres. But anyway, he gets beaten one-on-one, clean. Gutho goes high, Capewell chucks the fend at his chest. Capewell then running towards the sideline puts in the ugliest kick I have ever seen. Mind you, he did get pushed in the back while he was kicking. But yeah, he chips it back in field, and it's the perfect bounce. It sits up perfectly for AJ Brimson, backing up, doing what any good fullback should do, and they end up scoring. That was around the 49th minute. So not long after that, around 53 minutes in, man, can we talk about Dane Gagai? I'm sure Bunnies fans would be scratching their heads every time they watch Origin, because he manages to step it up another level. Even if he's injured, he puts in 110%. But yeah, around the 50-minute mark, I forget who offloaded it, but Cherry Evans gets it out to Gagai. Gagai does what he does during Origin. He makes a line break, and with Xavier Coates in support, Gagai ends up drawing in Tedesco, freeing up Coates, and Coates slides into the corner. Man, it was a great individual effort by Dane Gagai. So for around 25 minutes, I felt like Queensland dominated New South Wales. It was a slow start since the break for New South Wales, and that error from Cleary didn't help anything, but yeah, I felt like Queensland dominated the first 20 to 25 minutes since the break, and after scoring those 2 tries, they did get both kicks, and they led New South Wales 12 points to 10. But yeah, it was pretty much pressure, big hits, keeping New South Wales within their own half of the field, minimizing their meters made. There was plenty of big hits from the Queenslanders. Kurt Capewell, I'll say his name again, he put on a few big hits. The White Rhino, Christian Welsh, Jai Arrow, Jaden Sewer, man. plenty of shots, plenty of muscling up in the middle, and around the 65th minute, Daniel Tupou is doing some dirty work, taking a hit up, and ends up forcing a pass that goes to ground. Towed forward, scooped up by Cameron Munster, and he ends up chucking a little bit of a fend on Damien Cook on his way to scoring in the corner. And you could probably put that down to all the pressure they created, the dominance they asserted for, like I was saying, around 20 or so minutes. Queensland came out swinging. So after that play, New South Wales started to get a bit of momentum. You could definitely sense the Queenslanders slowing down, or you could see them slowing down. Their potency in defense wasn't quite effective like it was in the early stages of the second half. And around the 75th minute, on the back of a Jaden Sewer error, Josh Adokar ends up scoring in the corner for a double, a similar play to the first, I think it was, to get them within 2. Nathan Cleary ends up missing that conversion, a couple of crucial missed kicks. Some bloody tough kicks, mind you, but yeah, you could definitely sense the Blues coming back. But in the end, the Maroons end up holding on full time, 18 points to 14. A yellow card late in the match to Galfusi. And I don't know what happened at the end there. I think people were calling for another penalty, but in my opinion, the better team definitely won. And honestly, it was a good game, a fun game to watch, errors and all, controversy and all, if there is any controversy. That's pretty much a rough recap of what went down. My thoughts on performances for both teams. It was a little disappointing from New South Wales, and I'm sure plenty of Blues fans would say the same. Queensland were already coming in punching above their weight, and for them to play the way they did, especially the players on debut, I reckon everyone had a pretty good game. Jake Friend, he was on debut, but he's, like I said in the last video, he's a veteran of the game. It was just unlucky that he was second fiddle to arguably the greatest player of all time in Cameron Smith. I thought Tino Fa'asua Maleawi had a pretty decent game. The bench players in Sua and Collins, they definitely made an impact. Coates and Sammy, I had a question mark over Sammy, but I reckon he done alright. As for the 3 Blues on debut, Clint Gutherson, Luke Keary and Junior Paulo, I believe, they all had okay games. Cleary did have a couple of moments. Junior Paulo, he played an okay game. He wasn't as effective as he has been during the regular season. And Clint Gutherson, the skipper of the Eels, playing out of position. I wonder if they'll go back to Gutho for centres, or if they'll bring in someone like a Crichton or a Lomax. Gutho had a couple of defensive lapses, but I reckon he still did alright. In my preview, I said DCE probably had the most to play for, and he was playing like that tonight, attacking the line a few times. Even he had a few good touches in the first half, but in that second half, he started backing himself more and even broke the line a few times, I think. I haven't actually looked at player stats or anything, but yeah, DCE had a good game. Cameron Munster had a great game. And yeah, unlucky to New South Wales in game 1. We definitely won't see the same New South Wales in game 2. And that game is only 7 days away, boys. These games are coming back to back to back, and I can't wait. As always, if you like that video and want to see more rugby league content or more content in general, be sure to run it straight at that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you.
That's my
Later.
team, that's my team. Loyalty over everything, that's my team, that's my team. From the bottom where we grinding, that's my team, that's my team. To the top where we shining, that's my team.